Good morning. I'm Andy Myers at Weiss Research, and this is your morning market alert for Wednesday, March 30th. Stocks on Wall Street are set to add to yesterday's gains, following a solid rally overseas, including a 2% jump in Japanese shares. U.S. investors are also digesting data on the labor market ahead of Friday's government employment report. According to automatic data processing, private employers hired 201,000 new workers this month. Meanwhile, outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas reported about 41,500 layoffs in March versus more than 50,000 in February. Economists predict that Friday's jobs report will show about 200,000 new non-farm payrolls and that the unemployment rate will hold steady at 8.9%. The U.S. dollar is rising again today after another Federal Reserve official spoke out against more quantitative easing. Yesterday it was St. Louis Fed President James Bullard. Today, it's Dallas Fed President Richard Fisher. He said that he'll vote against any further monetary easing by the central bank when the current $600 billion program of asset purchases expires in June. Those comments pushed the dollar to a post-earthquake high against the Japanese yen. The yen has been falling since its own central bank, along with other G7 nations, flooded the country's market with liquidity in the wake of this month's disaster. Now investors seem to be favoring the Australian dollar, which is rising to its highest level against the U.S. currency since it was allowed to float freely in 1983. Meanwhile, crude oil prices are dropping back again this morning after closing near $105 a barrel yesterday. On the corporate front, a takeover battle may be brewing in the drug sector. Valeant Pharmeceuticals went public with a $5.7 billion bid for biopharmaceutical firm Cephalon. Valeant said it made several private approaches that failed to start negotiations. So the company is now taking its offer to Cephalon shareholders to replace its board of directors with its own nominees. The bid comes out to $73 a share, representing a premium of about 29% over Cephalon's 30-day trading average. Shares of Cephalon are already jumping more than 30% to around $77 a share. Valeant is also sharply higher in the pre-market, jumping about 17%. Following the news, Morgan Stanley upgraded Cephalon, but it got a stock downgrade from JMP Securities. Corporate earnings may move a couple stocks today. Shares of Family Dollar stores are gaining about 2% after it posted a 10% increase in second quarter net income. The results were slightly above Wall Street forecasts. Investors are also waiting on quarterly numbers from agricultural chemicals maker Mosaic. Meanwhile, keep an eye on BlackRock. It's jumping more than 5% after Standard & Poor's said the asset management firm will replace Genzyme in the S&P 500 after the biotech firm agreed to a buyout by Sanofi Aventis. And finally, we're watching several technology stocks today following analyst actions. Dell is losing ground ahead of the bell after Needham downgraded the stock to hold. And Apple may open to the downside as well. Jefferies cut its revenue estimate for 2011, saying the launch of the iPhone 5 may come later than expected. But Amazon.com is rising more than 1% in the pre-market after Morgan Stanley named the online retailer a long-researched tactical idea. That's the latest from Weiss Research. We'll be back after the opening bell with all the market reaction.